It's night 6. At Okunjin, once everyone returns from tribal, Cindy gets on the treadmill and Aaron follows her to chat. He strikes a conversation with her about the vote, asking her if she knew Tanner was getting 2 votes. She tells him that she warned Brooke last minute to play her idol and vote Tanner with her because she knew something was up with that vote. Aaron pretends like he didn't expect Cindy to get a vote. He thought Brooke would be blindsided and go home with an idol since she was informed to vote Rokio. Cindy says it's clear Tanner and some other snakes decided to use Brooke's idol against her, so she needed to ensure Tanner would go instead. Aaron says that at this point, they'll need to regroup and find out who the next threat is for them. Meanwhile, Josie goes to Brooke, but Brooke tells her she is amazed the whole tribe lied to her except for Cindy. She's pretty hurt at the moment and doesn't know who to trust anymore. Josie doesn't really say much and tells her if she feels like talking, they can talk. Brooke gives her a look and says there isn't really much to talk about because she sees the writing on the wall at this point. Pretty much the whole tribe is against her and will vote for her again. Josie decides to give her some space and tells her they can chat later once she cools off. As Brooke and Cindy process last tribal, Allison and Ryan play chess and discuss the events that occurred. Allison admits her head started to spin when they found out Tanner got voted out. Ryan says Cindy played very smart, whispering to Brooke during the discussion and telling her to use her idol to get rid of Tanner. He thought she would tell Brooke to vote Rokio, but clearly that wasn't the case. Rokio walks by them so they stop chatting momentarily, and Rokio somehow skips over the idol right next to the trash can. He leaves without noticing it and briefly hugs Allison as he passes her. Ryan then tells Allison he sees an idol on the ground next to the trash can, so Allison immediately goes over, hoping to pick it up before anyone else comes. She stands next to the trash can but Ryan tells her to stop. Jason then comes by and stands by Ryan, laughing because of how crazy that last vote was. Allison then tries to bury the idol using her feet but stops, worried she'll get caught. Jason then calls her over so she has no choice but to leave the idol alone. Allison, Jason, and Ryan then talk about how shocked they were to see Tanner go. Jason says they probably should have put another vote or 2 onto Cindy. They underestimated her ability to read the room. After some time of chatting, Jason decides to leave for a bit, leaving Allison and Ryan alone again. Allison tells Ryan to cover her again as she attempts to get the idol, but Jason quickly comes back, so Allison spits out a swear word in reaction and sits back down. While all that goes on, Josie and Aaron talk about how they can move forward at this point. Aaron feels like Cindy trusts him still, which they could use to their advantage. Josie is glad because she feels like Brooke really has to go now. She's upset at all of them for voting her. At this point, if they can pull Cindy back in, they can convince her that Rokio is the person who tried to make Cindy Plan B last vote. After Josie finishes her marshmallow she just roasted, she asks Aaron to throw the stick away since it's pretty dirty now. She hands him the stick so he goes to the trash to throw it. As he does, he sees the re-hidden idol on the ground and snatches it. As he grabs it, Ryan tells Allison the unfortunate news that Aaron found the idol, and she sighs in response. At Kunjin, B. Marie and Caleb chat alone, expressing how happy they are to be in a good position on this tribe. Caleb says they are slowly becoming king and queen of this crumbling tribe. Nobody will go after them because everyone has other priorities to deal with. B. Marie says they are going to sleep really well tonight. She's actually going to see if maybe Sam will change sleeping bags with her so she can sleep next to Telly. Caleb thinks he wouldn't mind that. Divin chats with Telly by the fire, asking her if she truly trusts him or not. She obviously says yes, so he tells her that Ashley is trying to get Kiana out because she's rumored to be playing both sides right now. He also adds that it seems like Kiana is trying to bring in Caleb and B. Marie into her alliance, making her an even bigger threat. Telly says she'll keep that in mind going forward. At the moment though, she doesn't know how successful they would be in trying to take her out so soon. She's very insulated on this tribe. Nobody will really go after her until more of the weaker people go home, including Clever and Ashley. At the table, Bane, Kiana, and Ashley chat. They talk about their favorite animals. Ashley goes on and on about how much she adores puppies, but Kiana says she's not that much of a fan of them. She has a hard time being around them because for the most part, they can be unpredictable. Ashley smirks and says she feels the same around her. Bane's eyes widen and Kiana looks at Bane in confusion. She then asks Ashley to clarify what she means by that comment, so Ashley explains that she thinks she's playing an unpredictable game. Nobody is clocking the fact that she's playing both sides. It's evident because she voted with her last night, but people thought she would keep Clever. Kiana says she never voted Clever, but Ashley still thinks she's lying to get herself in a better position. Kiana tells her she's wrong, but Ashley refuses to believe her. All the while, Bane watches in silence, amused by this argument. During this, Nicola, Clever, B. Marie, Caleb, and Neil come together, chatting about this tribe's next plan. Neil thinks they need to stick together at this next vote and just eliminate either Ashley or Divin for good. Clever assumes those two will go for them again since they tried it last time but failed. B. Marie then offers a split vote plan in the case they have an idol, but Clever immediately says no to this idea. They claim that split votes will possibly cause confusion and result in another accidental blindside. Nicola agrees and says that after last vote, she's against big split votes. She'd rather dump the votes onto Ashley because she doesn't have an idol. All five agree in that case and head to bed. It's day 7 in the game, and both tribes arrive to their mats for the reward challenge. Justin informs Kunjan that Tanner was voted out of Okunjan's previous tribal, in which B. Marie and Caleb are shook by this news. Justin asks Caleb how he feels after finding out Tanner got out, and he admits that him and B. Marie were under the impression that Guy was safe for a while. In fact, everyone here on Kunjan is shocked too because it seemed like there was a more obvious boot in the works. Justin turns to Brooke and asks her if she woke up feeling any better than last night, and she says she's just ready to move along in this game and ignore what happened in the past. Everyone else on Okunjan awkwardly smiles, and Justin then gets into the challenge rules. In this reward challenge, everyone will hold up 2 discs with their elbows between 2 posts. If any disc falls, that person is out of the challenge. The last tribe left with discs held up will win reward. The winning tribe will get a box at their camp. This box contains memories from home which could boost the spirits at camp. Everyone is excited when they hear this, so Justin asks Kunjan to sit 3 people out. They go with Bane, Ashley, and Sam. As for the rest, they prop up 2 discs and hold them with their elbows, meaning the challenge has now begun. After just 2 minutes, Neil drops his discs, claiming there's absolutely no way he'll be able to hold them for much longer. Kunjan is now down to 7 people. Everyone at this point remains strong for another 30 minutes. Cindy's discs then suddenly drop unexpectedly, eliminating her from the challenge. Telly drops shortly after, leaving 6 people fighting on Kunjan. An hour passes in total since the challenge started, and the 3 sitting out on Kunjan cheer for their tribe. B. Marie tears up at one point, thinking about her daughter. Telly looks up at her and tells her to stay strong, so she stops tearing up. Ryan's discs all of a sudden fall on Okunjan, and he looks down in confusion. He sits down, very annoyed as he swears he had so much left in him. Allison's arms wobble meanwhile, causing her discs to fall at some point. She facepalms, apologizing to her tribe. Kiana also gives in and sits down. There are 5 people left on both tribes, and they all stay strong for yet another hour. Justin is amazed and tells all 10 people that they should be proud of themselves by now. Brooke starts grimacing, struggling to hold up her discs. Jason tells her to stay strong because they need to motivate themselves to stay in this. However, Brooke shakes her head and drops her discs, holding her arm in pain. On the other tribe, Caleb also had enough, wishing the rest luck. Clever and Divin stay strong for Kunjan, but B-Marie and Nicola start to shake in pain. On Okunjan though, all 4 people remain solid. After some more time, Nicola drops her discs, leaving just 3 on Kunjan. Divin then surprises everyone and drops his discs, stepping backwards as he almost falls to the ground from dizziness. It's down to 2 on Kunjan and 4 on Okunjan. Ashley and Bane both admit to themselves that their tribe is toast at this point because B-Marie looks like she's going to shatter and Clever isn't beating all that muscle on the other tribe. As more time passes, Josie begins to struggle, constantly moving her discs upwards to keep them from slipping. B-Marie starts doing the same as she continues to struggle. Josie then gives up and shakes her arms. 15 minutes pass, and only 3 remain on Okunjan, while Kunjan struggles with only 2. Randomly, Rokio drops his discs and sits down, leaving Jason and Aaron fighting for reward. Aaron says he definitely has another hour in him, and Jason says he has about 30 minutes in him. Meanwhile, B-Marie asks Clever if they are remaining strong, but Clever says they are starting to feel so much pain in their back. B-Marie says she really can't hold on anymore because her elbows are about to bleed. Clever tells her to drop if she needs to, so she finally drops and her tribe claps for her effort. Jason and Aaron remain fairly strong on Okunjan, hoping to win this reward for the tribe. As 40 more minutes pass, Jason gives up and wishes Aaron luck, leaving just Aaron and Clever fighting for their tribes. Clever's sweat starts to bother them as they try to shake it off of their forehead. Aaron, however, is bothered by nothing, standing up still like a statue. Eventually, Clever's discs slip to the ground, meaning Okunjan wins reward in the form of a giant box with memories from home. Kunjan is leaving this challenge empty-handed. Justin tells the 2 tribes to walk back to camp, so they head back. At Okunjan, everyone sits in a circle as they each have a toy either from their childhood or from someone they love. Rokio says this rubber duck is special to him because he shared it with his brother when they were little when taking baths. Unfortunately, his brother isn't here anymore after a vehicle collision several years ago. He starts tearing up, so everyone else tries to comfort him. Brooke then goes next, revealing that she made this butterfly with colored clay when she was in elementary school. She keeps it ever since to remind her of her creativity when she was younger. Jason then goes next, revealing that this superhero figure is one his father bought him when he was younger. He has been his support system growing up and loves him dearly. Allison then goes next, telling them this is actually an owl stress toy. She has to cope with anxiety in some way, so she used it since high school and still has it with her to this day to avoid breaking down in stressful situations. Josie then goes next and says that this is her pet horse, Millie. She actually lost it when she was younger and never found it until her mom found it one day when they cleaned the house. It's just a toy that reminds her of her childhood. Aaron then goes next, talking about how much his toy means to him. He bought this for his sick mom when he was 12 years old so she could remember him while she was in the hospital. Thankfully, she's alive and well today. He believes that without her holding this toy in her hospital bed, she'd feel lonelier and find it more difficult to take care of herself in the hospital. Cindy then goes next and says she actually didn't grow up with many toys. This koala is actually her younger sister's. It's in pretty rough shape, but at least it's still recognizable. She actually reveals that her sister used to bite off chunks of the toy when she was around 7 and 8 years old. Everyone laughs in response. Ryan goes last and says his toy helicopter is one he made in elementary school. He was so proud of it and thought he'd eventually become an aircraft engineer. Of course, that changed because now he's studying law. Everyone then decides to pick up their toys and head to the campfire to sit down on proper chairs. Brooke tells them she'll join them soon. She just wants to put her butterfly away so it doesn't get ruined. With everyone at the fire, Brooke opens the box and takes a look inside, wondering if there's anything hidden inside. She then notices a hidden compartment at the bottom, so she checks behind her to see if anyone is watching, and everyone seems distracted. She then leans into the box, her feet dangling in the air as she desperately tries to open the compartment at the bottom. She successfully does and finds herself a hidden immunity idol. She puts it into her overalls and puts her butterfly back in the box. At Kunjin, Divin tries to talk with Telly, and Ashley soon joins in, clapping loudly as she jokingly calls Telly a flop in that reward challenge. Telly takes her seriously and looks at Divin in shock, but Ashley tells her to cool down because it's just a simple joke. Divin then fills in Ashley that he told Telly their suspicions of Kiana. Ashley says she confronted her last night and she definitely did not like it. She seemed very nervous when confronted about it, so it's clearly true that she's playing both sides. Telly tells the two of them that they need numbers to execute a move on Kiana. Otherwise, they have no chance. If anything, the safer move is Clever. But Ashley doesn't think Clever is threatening enough. She would rather just try convincing people to take out Kiana. Meanwhile, majority of the tribe discuss taking out Ashley over Divin just because of challenges. It's clear this tribe struggles against Okunjin, so at least Divin might be stronger physically than Ashley now that they are getting more physical challenges. As the sun slowly sets for night 7, Telly catches up with B. Marie. Since they are ride or dies at this point, Telly willingly tells her about Ashley's plan to take out Kiana. B. Marie thinks it's not the best move for the two of them and only benefits Ashley. Telly goes as far as to say that this move isn't even that good for Ashley anyway, since there's other people who would never work with her anyway. However, as long as Ashley is distracted with Kiana, it's better for them. B. Marie says there's a set plan to unanimously take out Ashley. It leaves out Divin since he's always around her and will probably tell her ahead of time that she's going home. At this point, Telly thinks they should lay low and just go with the flow to avoid catching strays so soon in the game. Later on, everyone gathers around the fire and sings some campfire songs to motivate themselves for tomorrow's immunity challenge. Back on Okunjin, Cindy talks with Allison, telling her she still trusts her in the game. She knows she wasn't the main person trying to get rid of her last night. Allison admits she knew Cindy was a plan B, but she never really pushed for her to go, so she has good reason to trust her. Cindy says that as of last night, she knows she cannot trust Josie, Jason, and Ryan any further. They practically burned bridges with her. She hopes she can take them out with the leftover numbers on the tribe, meaning they can pull in Rokio, Brooke, and hopefully Aaron as well. Allison tells her this idea sounds great, so they split off. Allison immediately goes to Ryan though and spills the beans to him. She warns him about Cindy targeting him, but he feels pretty calm. He doesn't think Cindy will be able to take him out. She doesn't have the numbers. Simple as that. Allison says they need to make sure Cindy doesn't convince Aaron to flip to her side. Otherwise, Cindy might have 4 votes locked in. Ryan says there's no chance Aaron flips because he's loyal to them. It's day 8, and it's time for the immunity challenge. Kunjin returns the immunity statue and Justin explains the challenge rules. In this, 1 player from each tribe will head up and face off in a physical match. The goal is to fight it off until 1 player gives up. The tribe to score 3 times will win immunity, safe from the vote. The losing tribe will visit tribal tonight to vote someone off. Justin then asks Kunjin to sit 3 people, not from the previous challenge though. They end up choosing Nicola, Clever, and Telly. The first 2 to head up are Sam and Aaron. Justin tells them to begin so they fight it out. Sam puts Aaron in a chokehold, but Aaron manages to flip Sam over and push him to the ground. Sam immediately gives up after that, giving Okunjin their first point. Neil then goes up next for Kunjin up against Jason for Okunjin. Jason admits he's pretty intimidated by the muscle on him, but he's not fast enough for him, confident he'll still win. The match begins and they both begin fighting. They continuously fight for many minutes, neither willing to back down. After a lot of punches, Neil gives up first, winning Okunjin their second point. For round 3, Caleb goes up, facing off Ryan. Their round begins, and as they fight, Caleb whispers to Ryan that he's throwing to keep Okunjin safe. Caleb pretends to try his best, but allows Ryan to flip him over and bash him to the ground. Caleb gets up, trying to come off like he's putting effort into beating up Ryan, but then says he gives up after Ryan beats him up. This means Okunjin easily wipes out 3 matches in a row and wins immunity, safe from tonight. Kunjin will be heading to Tribal tonight, where someone will be the 4th person voted out. The 2 tribes then walk back to their camps. At Kunjin's camp, Nicola and B-Marie hug, feeling pretty okay despite the loss. Nicola says that the girls knew they were toast when they heard about the challenge because Cindy would have definitely beat any woman on this tribe. B-Marie laughs, saying how Cindy is definitely unbeatable. Their only real chance was to put up their boys, but that clearly didn't work either. Nicola thinks it's fine though because the tribe is voting out Ashley tonight pretty easily. Divin tries to talk with Kiana meanwhile, but she tells him she's not interested to chat because she knows him and Ashley are trying to get rid of her. Divin tries to convince her he's not after her and simply came to her to warn her that Ashley is spreading that name to everyone else, including him. Kiana tells him that if he's really against Ashley, he should vote for her tonight. Divin had a different name in mind, though. He asks her if she would be willing to take out Caleb tonight since he's clearly a threat for them moving forward. They can't risk losing more of their Kunjin numbers. Otherwise, they could be looking at a possible Kunjin steamroll. Kiana isn't convinced but tells Divin she'll do it if other people are on board. Realistically though, she doubts this will happen. As the evening goes on, word spreads that Ashley remains the target. At one point, everyone is at the fire, discussing Ashley's demise until she shows up. Ashley asks B-Marie if she could speak with her privately, so B-Marie follows her. They walk to the other side of camp and Ashley asks her if she would be down to vote out Kiana tonight. They need 6 votes, and Divin and Telly seem to be in as long as they have the numbers. B-Marie doesn't hesitate and says yes, so Ashley smiles and thanks her for trusting her with this plan. B-Marie then walks this information to Neil, telling him that Ashley is trying to get Kiana out. Neil doesn't feel good about this though, especially after losing Crystal so soon. He admits to B-Marie that Kiana is going to be loyal to them moving forward, so it might not be as wise to take her out now. Ashley is much more unpredictable and drama-filled. B-Marie admits she didn't really think about working with Ashley in the first place. She's still good with taking her out. Later in the day, Ashley is extremely ticked off with Kiana and decides to jump her unexpectedly in the middle of camp. They tackle each other, Kiana trying her hardest to defend herself. Everyone else then watches in fear, telling them to stop. Clever laughs in the background but Nicola is extremely petrified. The fight goes on and on with nobody on production stepping in yet. Everyone continues to watch, unwilling to intercept. They both then stop, gassed by the physical fight. Ashley holds her head, dizzy from the fight. Kiana calls her a crazy psychopath for attempting to tackle her from behind. Ashley says she's done with her lies and exposes her as a snake to everyone out loud. She claims once again that Kiana is playing both sides and that everyone is blinded by her chill aura. Kiana fixes her hat and rolls her eyes in response, telling Ashley that she deserves to be ejected for what she just did. Shocked by the fight, people start talking about what just went down. Nicola confirms to Clever and Sam that this situation just confirmed her vote for tonight. She's not keeping someone who is willing to physically strangle someone. Sam says he's so pissed because Kiana didn't deserve any hate. Ashley comes behind them and Sam immediately tells her to walk away because she's a danger to every single person. Ashley scoffs and says she's so much smaller compared to everyone else, so it's not a big deal anyway. She's not tackling anyone else. She just wanted to make a point about Kiana. Sam calls her crazy and yells in her face to walk away. She puts her hands on her hips, staring at Sam as he continues to repeat that she needs to walk off. While this goes on, Divin and Caleb chat, Divin claiming that Ashley basically dug her own grave now. Caleb agrees and says there's no way she survives tonight unless she has an idol. But everyone agreed there's no split vote tonight, so it should be 10-1. Divin nods and says he won't miss Ashley anymore after what she did to Kiana. It's night 8 now, and everyone on Kunjin makes it to tribal council. Justin asks B. Marie and Caleb to grab a brand new torch and dip it into the fire, reminding them that fire represents their life in this game. When their fire is out, their game is over. Everyone proceeds to sit down, and Justin asks Caleb how he and B. Marie have adjusted to this new tribe since the mutiny twist. Caleb admits he was excited to come here because he didn't want to deal with the uncertainty on Okunjin. B. Marie speaks up and says that everyone has given them a warm welcome here and they are glad to have met such great second chancers, ready to play this game hard. Justin then turns to Kiana, asking her how she feels having 2 new tribe mates. Kiana says it's great as they essentially replaced the 2 losses from before. Both of them have strong qualities for challenges too, making them great assets for the team. Justin then asks the tribe to raise their hand if they feel different about the new entrees, perhaps feeling nervous about them or unhappy with the new tribe mates. Nobody raises their hand though, making Caleb and B. Marie smile. Justin then turns to Divin, telling him that it seems everyone enjoys their company. Divin nods and says it's as if they were here since day 1. Justin asks Sam why people feel so comfortable with these new members, and Sam admits that there is just unfinished business since the second tribal. Ashley rolls her eyes in response, and Sam continues by talking about Ashley being on the outs. She's someone everyone has wanted out for a while now and was only saved by rocks last time. Ashley chimes in, saying this tribe has communication issues. No tribe should be having such split votes. In fact, nobody is aware of who the true threats are. Instead, everyone wants to go along with voting her out tonight. Justin then asks Ashley who she thinks is a threat then, and Ashley says Kiana. Kiana leans forward and looks at her as Ashley explains that Kiana is playing both sides. She claims that Kiana voted Clever last time and proceeded to claim that she didn't do so, which is clearly a lie. Kiana squints and says it's not a lie because people have discussed with her prior to tribal that she needed to go, so she voted her and not for Clever. Clever then bumps Bane's knee and gives him a look, moving his eyes into the direction of Kiana. As Kiana and Ashley continue to banter, Neil whispers to Caleb in the back, and Caleb then whispers to B. Marie and Nicola. They each nod to his whispers. Justin then asks Divin if this vote is going to be simple tonight or if there's perhaps a bigger plan at stake. Divin says this tribal will not be shocking to anyone. It's pretty evident that someone dug their grave after literally tackling someone to the ground at camp. Justin's eyes widen, asking what happened. Kiana then responds, calling Ashley a psychopath who attacked her for no reason. She feels like Ashley is taking the game too personally. Ashley says she actually thinks Kiana deserved it because she feels too comfortable in this game. She needs to learn to watch her back, especially with the amount of alliances she's having to balance. Kiana sighs and tells Ashley to quit trying so hard to take her out. She's spewing nonsense and everyone sees through her. Justin then wraps up the tense discussion before it escalates and says they have to get to the vote.
I'll tally the votes. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and they want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Alright, I'll read the votes. First vote. Kiana. Ashley. 1 vote Kiana, 1 vote Ashley. Caleb. That's 1 vote Kiana, 1 vote Ashley, 1 vote Caleb. Ashley. Ashley. 3 votes Ashley. Ashley. That's 4 votes Ashley. Ashley. 5 votes Ashley, 1 vote Kiana, 1 vote Caleb. Fourth person voted out of Survivor Second Chances, Ashley.
Ashley gets up out of her seat and everyone watches her walk towards her torch in silence. Kiana sneaks in a comment that she should go straight to a psychologist to find out what's wrong with her, but Ashley ignores the comment. Caleb crosses his arms and Nicola and B. Marie look back at him, wondering who the 1 vote for him was. Ashley puts her torch down next to Justin and he snuffs it. She leaves without looking at anyone. Justin tells the tribe they may now head back to camp, so they do. Next time on Survivor Second Chances. With Kunjan finally being able to rest after taking out Ashley, Caleb starts feeling paranoid after someone threw a vote onto him at tribal council. But, to everyone's surprise, a tribe swap hits the game where there will be 3 tribes of 6. Now that everyone has to be a bit paranoid going into this swap, who will rise and who will fall? Will a war commence between 2 sides? Find all of this out on Thursday's episode. Ashley's final thoughts. Ashley knew her time was up ever since she nearly went home during the Rocks Tribal Council. People didn't trust her for whatever reason. She's unhappy that Kiana is probably getting far since nobody is going to take a shot at her. She has clearly been playing both sides, and yet nobody believes it. At least she got to rough her up at camp today by giving her a few punches. She has 0 regrets, even though it was technically against the rules.